Squarespace, you say? Sponsored, you say?
Hello everyone, welcome. Henry Cavill is on his way, actually, with he's bought a Warlord Titan, a unique one you haven't seen. You haven't seen it before, it's a new one. And we're going to paint it together using some new speed paints you've never heard of. And we've got a new technique as well. It's called Plop Plop. It's a Plop Plop technique. It's like Slap Chop. It's not though, it's new, brand new. And then we're going to take it round to... I can't do this anymore. I thought I could do an April Fool's video, but I'll just do a normal one instead. Yeah. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 60. So today I want to show off the town of Respite because last episode I didn't actually show it at the end. And there was a reason why, because I didn't really have a mat, you know, like a gaming mat to put it on. You know, it would have looked a bit crap on, you know, just stuck on the carpet, you know, especially the old granny carpet we have here. I wanted to make a gaming mat first. And I found this stuff, yoga mats that join together. I found a ton of these in a charity shop and I figured, you know, let's make something with that. Now I appreciate that Black Magic Craft just made a yoga mat, gaming mat video, and it was really good. But this is just a different one. It's, you know, it's a different version. I mean, his one's probably going to be better, obviously, but you know, this one is going to be, I don't know, what's the upside to this? They can join together and they're more compact. See, this is your travel gaming mat. I don't know. I already started making the video by that point, so you know. So in all honesty, yeah, I do need a gaming mat, and I have no room in this workshop to even keep a 3 foot by 3 foot board. I don't think it's even 3 foot across, maybe here, but then I sit here. I genuinely need a solution, and I figured these yoga mats, I could, you know, pack them up, stack them, I could just chuck them over there somewhere, you know, like that was the idea, and let's hope it works. I'm a bit worried about the jigsaw patterns here and how they're going to look, but you know, it's a compromise, isn't it? But to be honest, you're going to get to see the whole town laid out at the end, you know, on a nice little mat, with a nice bit of lore read by my friend Bobby Fingers, because he has a nice husky Irish accent, not like this horrible kind of, not East London accent, but like someone from East London who's trying to learn how to speak properly. That's the accent I have. But that's coming up at the end. It's not really an April Fool's video. Don't click off. Henry Cavill isn't coming. I did consider it, not having Henry Cavill here making an April Fool's video, but I didn't. Or did I? No, I really didn't. Anything from you? Yeah, I already said April Fool's. He doesn't even listen to me, honestly. He just sits there. It's a world of his own. You know, I think we may need to actually zoom out for this build. Cheers, thank you. So EVA yoga mats. These are mats that you use for yoga, obviously, but you jigsaw them together to make as big of a mat as you may need, you know, depending on how big you are, I guess. But I found a set of these in a charity shop for, like, you know, barely anything, so I was quite happy. Charity shop is basically a thrift store where all the money goes to charity. I don't know where the money goes in a thrift store. Maybe you can tell me down below. This is hard as nails. It's a higher power adhesive apparently, but it's useless, absolutely useless. And it's been sitting on my shelf for ages. So I figured I'll just use it for this thing, just to kind of seal the edges in. It probably won't work. So each one of these tiles is a foot by a foot. So it makes it very easy to make a 3 foot by 3 foot board by using 3 on one side, 3 on the other. You know, it's a very easily modular playing mat. And I know it isn't the prettiest, those jigsaw bits are going to be a problem later on, but it's easily stacked and easily put away, and for someone like me who has no room, I think this could be a pretty good idea. You know, I don't know, we'll see, we'll have a look, you know, watch the video, see if it works out. But I also figured it's going to be modular, so if I put little paths that join in the same place on each tile, it can be as modular as you like. I'm not explaining that very well. I'll just show you, because that's how video works, isn't it? So hopefully you can see there that the paths are going to join up no matter what combination of tiles I put down. Also with these tiles, you know, I was thinking if I wanted to expand this board to a 4 foot by 4 foot, I just need to make a few more tiles and slip them in. I know what you're thinking. Could you make a 2 foot by 2 foot? Yeah. Could you make a 5 by 7 foot? Yep, you could. If you've got enough tiles, you can make any size you want. The possibilities are endless. Well, they're not actually endless. You know, everything ends. But let's just make mats for now, shall we? So this episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Now, if you've ever wanted to make a website and you're not really sure how to do it, Squarespace is the place to go. Look, you get provided with hundreds of templates like these just here, and they're all pretty cool designs, I'll give them that. And say you want to make a website about pickles. Look, oh, there we go. There's a pickle website. You can literally open this up, change the names. There you go. You have a pickle website. So I decided to make a website of my own for bill making stuff. Now, I've made plenty of websites in the past, and I have to say that Squarespace is the easiest and most intuitive website builder I've ever used. It's so easy to get great effect. I mean, look at this. This took me like 5 minutes. So if you want to make a website, click on the link down below. There is a sale going on. There you go. So I want to burn pathways or create some sort of texture in these mats, and I'm going to use this pyrography tool. Now, I've used EVA foam before, and you know, it melts pretty well, but make sure you wear one of these. There you go. So I figured this should work. You should cut it away, and it's kind of doing that. It's a bit annoying. It's not really. Yeah, it's taking quite a while actually. Oh god, that took forever. How many more? 8 more. I've got to do 8 more like this. I don't want to do it anymore. It's just not really. I don't want to do it anymore. Do it. Yeah, knife. I use a knife. That's probably the more sensible option, isn't it? Yeah, it wasn't that much easier, to be honest. I mean, it was easier. Just this EVA foam, especially this thick stuff, is just incredibly hard to carve. And I realise now why lots of people don't use it for crafting. It also squeaks at a very high pitch when you carve it. So if you want to annoy the neighbour's dog, just a few more. Don't hack at foam like this at home. It's just probably not very safe. Probably not. Anyway, let's leave this ugly sod and go for its skinnier, prettier friend. So my idea is that these little pathways go all over town, and they used to be a lot more pristine than they are now. So I want to kind of put a few remnants of the old brick path that used to be there and kind of embed it in the dirt, just like that. Now I know it's a running joke with this channel that I need to explain how to make crusted every episode, but I'm probably going to do it anyway because I need a lot of crusted today. So we need some PVA glue, some yellow acrylic paint, we need some sand, you know, some fine sand will do, and let's use some thicker sand as well, just to add a bit of variation in there, you know, something like that. Yeah, it looks like tiny sweet corn. I'm not sure where I got that from. I think that's for some lizard tank, and some baking powder. Looking back at the edit and thinking about it now, I should have used caulking instead of PVA glue. Now, caulking is that weird stuff you get in a tube that you use to caulk stuff. I don't know, Google it. But basically, it's like a flexible adhesive that would be much better for these EVA foam mats. And now I just need to paint every tile in crusted. Not very interesting. I'll probably add some weird, interesting editing in a minute just to keep your interest peaked. You know, maybe something like this. Lovely. So if you have any crusted left, store it in a jar like I do and label it crusted. Now make sure when you have this jar of crusted, you stick it right next to a jar of custard. So when kids help themselves, they get a nice mouthful of PVA glue and sand. It's brilliant. I'm just going to interrupt the video there because I just want to talk to you about stuff. Me and you, we need to catch up. We should catch up. First thing, all of the lore from my videos, I've been trying to kind of get it together into one little short story or several short stories, but I've started with one, as you do. So yeah, I'm writing a journal. Basically, in the from the perspective of someone traveling down to the planet. I thought that might be interesting. If someone's making little doodles of the spaceship they came on, and what Tapu looks like in the solar system, things like that. It's like some extra lore. There's a map there of the local area around Respite and other things. It's basically following someone on their little journey through Tapu, which could be interesting. If you find that interesting, you'd like to. I've scanned it and I've stuck it up on Patreon, and I'm going to be adding to it whenever I can, to be honest. So join Patreon, obviously, give me all your money. The way I look at it is, just say you were to meet me in real life and you've watched all my videos, the hours upon hours of entertainment. Would you buy me a coffee or a pint of beer? And if the answer is yes, then think about joining Patreon, because that's all that really is. I spend it all on beer. I don't really. Spend a lot of it on coffee, though, actually. I'm going to be at Salute this year. Salute is like a big miniature convention, South London. I don't have a stall or anything. I haven't been invited there. I'm just going there. But it's the only time of the year when I actually go and see people, real people, and I can just walk straight past them and ignore them. Honestly, if you see me at Salute, I may look miserable. I always look miserable. It's just my face. There's nothing much I can do about that. See? It's just my face. It's just, come and say hello. Take a picture with me. Whatever, all that stuff. Yeah, I may look unwelcoming. I'm, not completely unwelcoming. And, like last time, I want to make a recommendation of another channel that I like. And this week it's the Rust Monster. Now, Rust Monster, it's quite a new channel. Hasn't done a lot of videos, but these videos, just go watch them. If you like stopgap animation, he's really good. He's freakily good at it, and his sculpting's really good as well. It's really good. He's one of those wunderkinds, I assume he's younger than me. He sounds about 10. He's one of those kids that makes grown men like me our pants. Anyway, let's get back to making this disaster of a gaming mat. This stuff is jute twine. I guess it's like a jute, like a young version of twine that gets, in trouble and does drugs. But basically, we're going to use it to make flock. I did a whole video a while ago about making flock and basing materials out of just, cheap household stuff. And I will stick a link for it just up here. You forgot to put the link up there again, didn't you? Every time, Bill, every time. So once it's nice and dry, you want to bunch it all together like this and just trim it. Basically just keep trimming it until you get a big pile of trimmings. Now what are you thinking? That looks tedious and a big pain in the, but it is a big pain. It does take a while. And you could just buy your own flock. But there's a certain achievement in making your own flock and knowing you made it. And, sieving it like this with a little... It does take a long time, actually. You're probably better off just buying it. It is quite nice, though. I should probably explain what I'm doing. I want to take all my terrain and add a bit of flock to them. Add a bit of greenery or reddery, should we say, just to dress them up a little bit. Now, this is a giant paintbrush that I've been using to cut bristles off of. Now, this is an old technique that everyone knows. Basically, a bit of hot glue, some paintbrush bristles, and you got yourself some long grass. Now I know what you're thinking, what's with all the red flock and these weeds that you're going to kind of paint orange? Well, Respite is on an alien planet and I wanted the weeds and the moss and stuff to be vibrantly coloured, a bit more alien than our usual green moss. And I just thought it'd be more interesting. Actually, that's far too bright, that's far too interesting. I just want to dull that down. Never be too interesting. That's what I've learned. People don't like you when you're too interesting. That's what they tell me, anyway. Now, this stuff is coconut fibres. I found this in the pound shop, but you can find this anywhere that does gardening supplies. People use it to keep plants warm. They make little coconut fibre jackets or something. I'm not sure what it's used for, to be honest, but I'm going to use it for grass tufts because it's much better than the paint bristles. They're a lot more jagged and random and more grassy. So I've always wanted to kind of toughen up. There's got to be a joke there with tufts and toughen. Basically, I want to add tufts and flock to all my old builds because they've just been missing something. And I've always thought about doing it, but I thought I would just do it all at once, which is what I'm going to do right now. And you're just going to have to sit there and watch me because, that's how videos work. And, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to add the red flock now, but I don't like to just sprinkle it on top of glue. I like to mix it with the glue and kind of paste it on because this isn't really grass. This is going to be some sort of weird moss that clings to the side of the bricks. It's also very handy to kind of hide the base of the tufts, where the hot glue is. Sometimes you can see it, and just to make it look like it's a little cluster of weeds. So I often get comments about the rustiness of Respite, and it's, because it's in a desert, it's in a dry, arid place, and people say, there's no moisture, Bill, why is it all so rusty? You need moisture. Well, there is moisture, there's always moisture in deserts, despite how dry it is. I guess what I'm getting at is that I hesitated putting little grass tufts and things like that here because of the apparent dryness, the lack of moisture. But now there is a little bit of moisture. Maybe it rains once every 2 years. So there's moisture. I've said moisture quite a lot in this episode. I do apologise to everyone who's delicate to the word moist. So I need a lot of oil wash. There's lots of tiles I need to cover, and whenever I make a lot of oil wash, I always tend to have an accident, knock it over. I mean, you'd think I would learn, but no joke, I actually just spilled it again off camera, trying to make a new batch and covering up the mistake. But no more, I'm just going to keep the mistakes in because there's some weird part of my psyche that just wants to knock it over, obviously. But yeah, don't knock over the oil wash. I actually used up the last of the white spirit, so hopefully there is enough to cover each tile. I'll stick some more on my Amazon wish list for now, but let's just hope the colour difference isn't too much. But anyway, that's a problem for future, Bill. Let's just sit here and watch me stain these yoga mats. Not for the first time. So I left all the mats to dry in an airing cupboard overnight, letting the white spirit fumes slowly seep into our bath towels. Surely it's not a problem, it would just make them cleaner, if anything. But anyway, some nice dry brushing for you. I'm just going to let you, watch the nice, calming dry brush. So there we go. They're all ready. They're drying. The thing is with this video, I think the drying time took longer than anything. This episode, but they're done. And I'm gonna get out the pull-out sofa bed because it's the only sort of space I have that I can fit a 3 foot by 3 foot thing on. Because there's no space in England. Honestly, you Australians and Americans with your, we're just gonna go to my shed, and it's like a football stadium to us. Anyway. I'm just going to show you the mat, and then we're going to show you Respite. We're going to have a bit of lore from this story thing I tried pitching earlier from Bobby Fingers, Let me go get the sofa bed out.
So here we go. Here are the mats. Look, they stack up nice and tidy. You could fit that in a little tote bag, couldn't you, when you go to see your friends on game night. But basically, this is your 3x3 foot mat. And now I know the jigsaws are quite distracting, but look how flexible this is. You know, you can basically just chuck it around. There's your 2x2. You can make a 2x3 or a or a 2x4 if you're mental. Yeah, I mean, there's a compromise. It's compact. You can put it anywhere, but they've got little weird jigsaw lines. If you can live with that, then let me know down below if you think it's an okay solution. But anyway, I just wanted to use this mat to show off the town of Respite, which is what this video is really all about. And here is some lore read by the the husky Bobby Fingers. Hope you enjoy.
We're descending now, and I can finally see the town of Respite. It sits almost dead center of a giant yellow peninsula, surrounded by sea on all sides but the north. North of the town, a thick mountain range of red, brown, and orange, cutting it off from the rest of the world. We just landed on the most precarious landing pad I have ever seen. Respite is a town raised above the desert by an inselberg, and the landing pad hangs over the edge. I'm pretty sure no engineer ever participated in its creation. Much like the rest of the town, buildings are the same. I say buildings, more like piles of old derelict spacecraft piled up on top of ancient yellow brick. I was too tired to take in the sights. I head straight for the center, avoiding the eye of some unsavory types and dodging the odd glass bottle whizzing by my head. I thought they would be more welcoming than this. I caught a glimpse of a few bots performing various duties around town. The old kind. We used to call them bead bots, due to their appearance being that of beads, thread on wire. I have found my accommodation for the foreseeable future. It, like the rest, is a building of scrap, carefully placed on top of yellow bricks. But it is slightly more impressive in that it towers over the other junk piles by some amount. I noticed what could only be described as some kind of brewery attached to the side, and a hanging sign over the door that reads, King's End Inn. It has a pretty morbid image painted under the text. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. That's all for today. Bed.
Thank you, patrons, for supporting the channel. Now, if anyone else would like to support the channel and hear little bits of lore like you just heard, maybe check out the Patreon website, link down